Hello and welcome, Jeopardy! Fans, you've landed in the right spot for the full scoop on tonight's electrifying episode from Monday, October 20th, 2025. I'm your host, and we are diving deep into all the spoilers, the big winner, and the can't miss highlights. If you love Jeopardy! As much as I do, you're going to want to stick around. We've got a thrilling game to break down, so let's get right into the action. Tonight we saw the return of our reigning champion facing off against two brand new, very sharp challengers. The energy in the studio was palpable from the very beginning. The returning champ came in with a 2-day winning streak, looking to extend it. But the newcomers were not about to make it easy. Right from the get-go, it was clear this would be a battle of wits and buzzer speed. The categories in the first round were incredibly diverse, ranging from world capitals to literary first lines, and even a fun one called Before and After. It was a great mix that tested the breadth of our contestants' knowledge. The first round was a real nail-biter. Our champion got off to a bit of a slow start, struggling to find a rhythm on the buzzer. Meanwhile, the challenger on the far left came out swinging, racking up an impressive lead early on. They were particularly dominant in the science and nature category, sweeping all 5 clues with confidence. It was one of those moments that makes you lean in and say, wow, this person came to play. The other challenger also held their own, picking up some key clues and staying right in the mix. By the time we hit the first commercial break, it was anyone's game, with the scores much closer than anyone anticipated. The big moment of the first round was, of course, the Daily Double. It landed under the $800 clue in American history. The challenger who found it was trailing slightly and decided to make a bold move, wagering a significant portion of their earnings. The clue was about a lesser-known treaty from the 19th century. You could see the gears turning as they thought it through. After a tense pause, they delivered the correct response, catapulting them into the lead and completely changing the dynamic of the game. It was a gutsy play that paid off beautifully and set the stage for an intense Double Jeopardy round. As we moved into Double Jeopardy, the stakes were higher and the clues were tougher. The categories included opera divas, 13-letter words, and art and artists. Our returning champion, who had been relatively quiet in the first round, finally found their footing. They started making a serious comeback, especially in the world geography category, showing the knowledge that had brought them this far. It was a classic champions surge, methodically working their way back into contention clue by clue. You could feel the momentum shifting in the studio. The Double Jeopardy round featured 2 daily doubles, and they proved to be absolutely crucial. The first one was found by the leader from the first round. They played it a bit more conservatively this time, perhaps wanting to protect their lead. They got the clue right, adding to their total but leaving the door open for the others. Then, the second daily double, the last one of the game, was uncovered by our returning champion. This was their moment to get back in the game. They needed a big wager and a correct response to have a shot in Final Jeopardy. They went for it, betting a huge amount. The category was famous scientists, and the clue was a tough one. With everything on the line, they delivered the correct response, and the studio audience erupted. It was a fantastic moment of television, putting them right back in the game and setting up an incredibly dramatic finish. Going into Final Jeopardy, the scores were incredibly close. The leader had a slight advantage, but not enough for a runaway game. Our champion was in a strong second place, and the third contestant was also within striking distance. It was a perfect setup for a thrilling conclusion. The category for Final Jeopardy was revealed to be 20th century authors, a classic, broad category that could go in any direction. The contestants looked focused as they prepared to hear the final clue of the night and make their wagers. The Final Jeopardy. Clue was, this American author's first major novel was inspired by his time as an ambulance driver in World War I. The 30 seconds of thinking music felt like an eternity. All three contestants scribbled away, looking deep in thought. Who would get it right? And more importantly, who wagered correctly? This was the moment where strategy is just as important as knowledge. The fate of the game and the title of Jeopardy. Champion rested on this one final answer. Let's break down the results. Our third place contestant, who had played a solid game, unfortunately, came up with the wrong response and wagered a small amount, taking them out of the running. Then it was time for our returning champion. They revealed their answer, ... and it was correct. Ernest Hemingway. They had wagered nearly everything, banking on their knowledge. Their score soared, putting immense pressure on the leader. Finally, we turned to the leader of the day. They also revealed the correct answer, Ernest Hemingway. It all came down to the wager. Had they bet enough to cover the champion's total? They revealed their wager, and it was just enough. They bet strategically to secure the win by a razor-thin margin. So we have a new Jeopardy champion. What an incredible performance! They played a nearly perfect game from start to finish, combining deep knowledge with smart, aggressive gameplay. It was a well-deserved victory, and they dethroned a strong two-day champion in the process. A huge congratulations to our new winner. It was a truly memorable episode, filled with drama, brilliant plays, and a photo finish. This is why we love this show. I can't wait to see how our new champion fares tomorrow. And that's a wrap on tonight's recap. What did you think of the game? Were you surprised by the outcome? Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. I love reading what you all have to say. If you enjoyed this breakdown and want to stay up to date with all the latest Jeopardy action, make sure to hit that like button. And more importantly, subscribe to the channel so you don't miss a single recap. Thanks so much for watching, and we'll see you back here tomorrow for another exciting episode. Have a great night, everyone.